What's up, Vault Dwellers? My name is Oscapt.
And I'm Noodle Pants.
Today we have some Halloween horror stories of the biggest scrapping regrets that people have in Fallout 76. We're talking about the items that you wish you had double-checked before clicking that scrap button. Each of us has our own story, but now we have a collection of everybody's stories in one painful video. So let's go over the top 10 things that players regret scrapping. You ready, Noodle Pants?
Oh man, I've been there. I still have nightmares about scrapping my legendary gear. There are too many individual items to talk about, so we've grouped them together into classes of items that make people wince. Let's start with the stuff that's a bit easier to laugh off.
First up, we've got the event-exclusive items. They're fun, they're rare, but at the end of the day, they're more for bragging rights than anything else.
Yeah, one player scrapped the Old Man Winter mask that he got from Fosnacht. Sure, it's cool to show off at your campfire, but it won't help you when you're up against a Scorch Beast. Regrettable? Yeah. Game-breaking? Not really.
Then there's the Nuka World Cherry Paddle Ball. This is a legacy weapon that was cut from the game. The player described it as useless, but fun, which actually describes a lot of things in Fallout 76. I mean, it's a quirky little thing, but let's be real. Losing that will not send you into a Deathclaw den in tears.
No, but something like that can never be found again.
Like my innocence. The player who scrapped the Old Man Winter mask also scrapped rare bats from Eviction Notice, and even went so far as to purchase a rare outfit from a player vendor and then accidentally scrap it moments later.
Ouch. Talk about trigger happy.
Next up are the helmets and masks, items that are part cosmetic, part identity in the Wasteland. Scrapping these items stings because they're rare, but you're not going to feel totally defenseless.
One player scrapped their Responder's fireman helmet without realizing how rare it was. It's not like losing a legendary weapon, but it's a kind of item that makes you feel proud showing it off to others. And then poof, it's gone.
Those items have a less than 1% chance to drop from Final Departure or Strength in Numbers, and a less than 0.033% chance to drop from daily quests. That's a lot of grinding if you want to get it back.
Others lamented scrapping the Forest Scout mask. You don't realize how much you loved it until it's gone. It's not a critical piece of equipment, but it completes the outfit. We saw our friend Red Gopher find one in a player's vendor machine the other night, and he totally lost his head over how lucky he was. Once you've had that, it sucks to have to use a generic gas mask instead.
Now we're getting into the outfits, and you might think, just clothing. But once you scrap that rare item, you'll realize that it's not so easy to replace.
I take my outfits very seriously. One player scrapped their tattered field jacket early on, thinking it was just some extra weight. Turns out, it's one of the rarest apparel items in the game. Oops. They've gone up 800 levels since then, and they still haven't found another one.
And then there's the infamous Red Asylum dress, which one player accidentally scrapped after a little too much Nuka Shine. They said that they haven't touched alcohol in-game since. Lesson learned.
Other players report scrapping either the leather coat or the traveling leather coat, which respectively have a 0.02% or a 0.01% chance of dropping from a handful of events. Not to be outdone, one player had and scrapped both of them.
Another player scrapped the Mistress of Mysteries dress. That's the only one there is. And apparently, though it didn't weigh much in the stash box, it still weighs heavily on their heart.
That dress sounds amazing. I want one.
Now we're moving into the realm of rare mods and crafting materials. You might think that you're just scrapping junk, but some of this stuff is incredibly hard to replace.
One player scrapped mods for their Enclave Plasma Rifle, which they spent weeks grinding for. They said it felt like scrapping their whole game plan. And it's even worse when you realize you need those same mods for your next build.
It's a little easier now that you can find all the mods as loose mods in the game, but that still doesn't make it less painful to have scrapped the very thing you were grinding for.
And don't even get me started on scrapping hardened mass. You think you're just cleaning out your junk stash, but nope, you've just lost a key crafting component for that power armor upgrade.
Hardened mass is a key component in making stable flux, which you need for a lot of advanced crafting. It also breaks down into ultracite, and if you're not careful, you can scrap it instead of putting it into your stash box intact. Fortunately, it doesn't auto-scrap, but that won't stop the persistent button smashers out there. Mutations can make or break your build, so accidentally losing them hits hard. You worked hard for these, and now they're gone in a flash.
One poor player lost both a speed demon and marsupial after walking through a radiation arch during their first nuke launch. They thought, hey, I'm safe now, only to realize they've wiped out their entire mutation build.
That's also why you've got to be careful with Radaway. Another player nuked their mutations, pun intended, and realized afterward that restoring them would take hours of grinding. Ouch.
It's not really that bad though. If you've unlocked the Enclave bunker, you can buy those serums and recipes from Modus. It's one of those things where you should spend your caps when you have them, so that you can make more serums when you need them. Or give them away like candy.
Halloween candy.
Yeah.
Hey kids, want to be mutated? Eat this.
Nom 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 nom.
Power armor is at the heart of survival in Fallout 76, and scrapping key mods like jetpacks or specialty helmets is an absolute nightmare.
I saw a player who scrapped their jetpack power armor helmet by accident and said they felt like they were crawling through the wasteland afterwards. Once you've flown, walking just doesn't cut it anymore.
Hang on, what the heck is a jetpack power armor helmet?
It's a real thing. Back in the day, when the wasteland was young, it's like a fairy tale. Once upon a time, when the wasteland was young, there was either a bug or a feature that enabled the jetpack mod to be placed on any power armor item, not only the torso. In order to maximize the use of other mods, lots of players put it on the helmet. Once that feature was patched out of the game, those became legacy items.
Oh man, that would suck to scrap. Other players reported scrapping box mods for power armor that they were carrying around while grinding to get the armor piece itself. Once they got the piece, they discovered that the mods were gone. That's the kind of thing that makes you put the controller down and take a long walk outside.
Or just throw it through the TV.
Or that. Now we're getting into the truly painful territory, unique quest rewards. These items are one of a kind, and losing them is like throwing away the trophy that you earned after hours of grinding.
One player scrapped their All Rise for script and said they've never forgiven themselves. It's a legendary hammer, folks, and losing it means saying goodbye to that extra strength and damage.
There's something to be said for a legendary hammer called All Rise.
Yeah.
Another player scrapped both the Blade of Bastet and the Voice of Set, weapons that took them hours to earn and which can never be crafted again. That's like losing a family heirloom. Poof, gone forever. We talked about power armor mods earlier, but apparently it's more painful and funny when people scrap their actual power armor.
It's not funny, dude.
Power armor is the ultimate defense in Fallout 76, and scrapping a helmet or other component is a massive blow, especially when it's a legendary piece.
One player scrapped their entire XO1 power armor set by mistake. Imagine spending months building it, only to lose it in one careless moment. That's a game changer, and not in a good way.
Then there's the Excavator Power Armor Helmet, which is a critical component of the complete set needed to get the benefits of having any of it at all. One player scrapped theirs and ended up running over-encumbered for hours before they managed to replace it. Brutal.
Not quite the same thing, but one player scrapped all of their actual armor while in power armor, not realizing that the regular armor was unequipped.
That might have been me. Just saying. Now we're talking about rare, high-value weapons, stuff like the Fixer or Quad Explosive Handmade. Losing these can set you back weeks or even months.
One player scrapped their Quad Explosive Handmade and said it was like losing their right hand. You spent forever grinding for that perfect god roll and then just gone.
And don't even get me started on the Enclave Plasma Flamer. One player grinded for months to get the perfect build only to scrap it by accident. That's enough to make anyone rage quit.
Is grinded a word?
If not, then it should be. And the present tense gerund form should be grindeding.
Grinding. I like it. I want to express my sympathy to the player who scrapped the Pearly Peepers, a unique singleton that you'll never be able to get again.
While putting this video together, I learned a lot about legendary, ultra-rare weapons, armor, and outfits that people have gained and lost. Stuff that I never knew existed, like Anchorage Ace, the yellow spiked baseball bat, and the indigo baseball bat.
Those bats are rare, but not so rare.
No?
No. If you check the Sunny vendor in Foundation, who's next to Samuel, he'll often sell modded bats of rare colors. Or at least he used to. You can also check the Raider bot at the White Spring Mall, in the Black Powder store, or the one at Pleasant Valley.
And finally, we've reached the top. Complete sets of legendary armor and god roll weapons. Losing just one item is bad, but scrapping an entire set? That's next level heartbreak.
One player accidentally scrapped their whole EXO-1 set and topped it off by scrapping a custom Enclave Plasma Flamer at the same time.
Oh man.
They said it felt like losing their whole game. When you lose your best weapons and your best armor, that's a double knockout.
Yeah, that's the kind of loss that makes you think twice before touching the scrap button ever again. Once you lose a full legendary set, rebuilding it is a long and painful grind. We saw lots of reports of players scrapping god roll fixers like B2525 and AA5015, and another player who scrapped a B4040 Auto X. These used to require a huge investment of time, effort, and money to roll. Less so now with the new legendary crafting system, but that's a small consolation for what must have been a painful experience at the time.
So, how do you prevent yourself from suffering the same fate as all those poor souls? First, items which are favorited will warn you when you try to scrap them. But that only works if you have them on your person. It will also clutter up your favorite wheel. So it's really only best for real favorites, like weapons or maybe Chinese stealth armor.
Another way is to paint them with a custom paint. This will pop up an alert about scrapping a premium item, which may also save you. This will also prevent you from selling the item to a vendor. It just doesn't even show up.
But the best way to prevent your fat little fingers from spamming that scrap or sell button is to rename the item in your inventory. If you put a Z in front of it, it will drop to the bottom of your inventory, and you'll learn not to scrap those items accidentally. One player even goes so far as to put the Z within the vertical pipes, making extra super duper sure the items won't be scrapped, just in case Bethesda starts dropping items that have their own Zs in the title.
And that's it, Vault Dwellers. The top 10 scrapping regrets in Fallout 76. Let us know in the comments, what's the worst thing that you've ever scrapped and how long did it take you to recover?
Or maybe you never got over it. Either way, let's hear your scrapping horror stories. I'm Noodle Pants.
And I'm Oscapped. Thank you so much for watching this video.